Well, it's another beautiful day. It's Saturday, and I think 70 degrees, I think is what it is. Tomorrow, it's supposed to rain all day, so I'll lock myself in the house and work on my other channel. And then it's going to cool off a bit as we get down in the 50s and then down into the around freezing mark for the next few nights, and then back up into the 50s. But it's going to be relatively warm. It's not going to be terrible. So I think spring's coming as fast as it can come. This is nice. I really enjoy this. It's a pretty windy day today. So I'm going to fill up the IBC tank again today, get the generator running. As it warms up, I'll start filling it every day. Like I told you yesterday, I've been trying to work on a system to use that water tank as an air conditioner. That way the cool water from the well will sit in that tank. On-demand water heater, I've never mentioned that before. The on-demand water heater, if you ever buy one, it has to adjust for the water temperature. If it's coming straight out of the well all year round, the water temperature stays relatively the same temperature all year round, 60 degrees or so. Well, in the wintertime, it gets down there close, 30 degree mark. So with that on-demand water heater, you have to turn the flame up regularly in order to get more heat into the water. Then in the summertime, the water temperature goes up to about 60 degrees. So now you're turning that water temperature all the way down, or the flame on the water heater. And the reason I mention this is because that on-demand water heater is a propane water heater. And so you're going to use more propane in the wintertime for the water heater than in the summertime. Something to be aware of. I've never mentioned that before. Whoops, I goofed that up. So I talked to my dad on Saturdays mornings. He calls about 7. We chat for a couple hours. It's always interesting conversation. We always talk about something, new discoveries and how to save the world and all that jazz. We've done that for a long time. And so today we were talking about, well, actually 2 subjects that were pretty key. And I want to cover both of them real quick. I think my generator died. I think we're going to have to go back down there and try to start that up. Yeah, it died. The generator is old. I've told you that. Last few videos I've been telling you I just got a new generator because this one just doesn't want to do it anymore. So I'll run it until it gives up and then get that new one out. Probably should check the oil on this one. Sometimes that's the reason it dies. So one of the subjects we were talking about today was electric, because I told him I got a new generator. He lives down in Hurricane area, Florida. He lives about maybe a quarter mile from the Gulf Coast. So he's had some significant hurricanes. A couple years ago, I can't remember, I guess it was a couple years ago, he was down without power for 2 weeks. So he's got the 7,500 watt generator. Maybe it could use a little bit more, but it's not low. And it's one of those industrial strength, real loud ones, so he can run his well off of it. He's got 220 to the well, so this little generator wouldn't run it. This well pump that I have is a 110. I said amp, I meant volt. So he's got that big generator to run that well. Well, the issue is it uses so much gas that he can't really run it much else other than the well. I think, like I said, he was out of electric for 2 weeks, and you can only store so much gas. Quite probable that he can run out of gas before trying to run the refrigerator and different things. And so you're always bouncing around trying to figure out how you're going to get enough gas. And well, I was telling him about the propane generator, and he really liked that idea. He was thinking about maybe even buying a small generator like this here, just so he can run his refrigerator and different things. But even if that, this little generator uses about a gallon of gas every 11.5 hours. So you get basically a half a day on a gallon of gas, which is pretty good. But 10 days, now you're up to 10 gallons. Well, if you got 2 tanks of gas, 2 jugs of gas, you've just ran out of gas. You're not going to have enough to make it. Well, the refrigerator, you got to remember, doesn't run all the time. It runs 15 minutes here, off for a half hour, runs another 15 minutes. So when the refrigerator is not running, then the generator's just running without anything being used on it. It's a waste of gas. So the only option you would have is to go out there when you want to turn on the refrigerator, turn the generator on, let it cool off, then remember to run out there and shut it off again, or just let it run, which is what most people do. They just let it run, wasting all that gas. I have a better option. It's the option that we used when we were nomads. We didn't have solar panels back then. You need 3 relatively inexpensive items if you already have the generator. You need a battery. So you go to Walmart, you buy yourself a 100 amp hour deep cycle marine RV batteries. The biggest battery they got at Walmart, it's like 90 bucks. Almost every Walmart I've been to has them. And stay in the battery section, same battery section, stay right there. You get yourself an inverter. Get yourself a 1,000 watt inverter. And then in the same section of Walmart, you go get yourself a battery charger. Those 3 items, that's all you need to run your refrigerator if you already have a generator. If you don't have a generator, well, of course you got to get one of those. What we did when we were nomads is I get up in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I charge the battery for 4 hours. Then I would shut the generator off. So now the power is being used for the entire 4 hours. The power is being used to charge your battery. Then you shut it off. Then for the next several hours, the battery through the inverter, and I've showed you how to use inverters before, got a whole list of it in my playlist. Go to my channel, go to playlist. The inverter is pulling power from the battery and running the refrigerator. So when the refrigerator kicks on, the battery is running it and it shuts off and everything's, you're not using any energy then. And that's what we do now, except we have solar panels. But I still charge the battery with the solar panels. The house is still basically running off the battery. It's all one system. The electric doesn't know any different if it had a brain. So now you can conserve. Oh, and then at nighttime, I don't know, about 5 o'clock, I would do the same thing. Start the generator up, charge the battery up. Now I got enough electricity to get through the night with the battery. You do that twice a day, no problem. And it saves you a ton of gas. You figure you're only running 8 hours for every 24 hours of runtime. You're not even using a gallon of gas. It's much more economical doing it that way. Now, the other option we were talking about, we kind of mixed these 2 subjects in together, was buying gold and food. Carolyn and I almost pulled the trigger on buying some gold. I did all the cost analysis, trying to figure out what percentage was best. You know, if you buy a 1/10 of a ounce, then they wanted 60% extra. So you're actually losing quite a bit of money. So the only cost-effective way was to buy 1 ounce of gold, which was $1,900. Now with that, it was going to cost 16%, so they wanted 16%. Well, if you bought it with a credit card, then it went up to like $2,100, so now it's up to like 30%. So you don't want to raise costs by just giving somebody money to buy gold. So I was trying to find the most economical one, which would have been buying a gold ounce, a 1 ounce gold bar. I got in there and they wanted to do a wire transfer because that would have been free. There would have been no charge doing a wire transfer. Well, then I got in there and they wanted the password to my bank, and I just couldn't do it. So I didn't. And so Carolyn and I was talking about it, and she said, well, instead of buying gold, why don't we invest in food? Which actually makes a lot of sense. Food is actually a good idea if you can preserve it. Well, we can our food, so we can preserve it. So if we took that $2,200, bought a bunch of chicken, canned it up, we'd have all that meat price locked in right now, whatever that price is now. That way if prices go up, we are saving money. Or if we can't go buy food anymore, you know, in an emergency situation, which is what gold would have been used for, then we'd have the meat stored back. We'd already have it all. So we thought that's probably what we'll do. We've been doing that anyways. I don't know why I thought we needed to buy gold. I don't know. I guess with the Ukraine thing, I was thinking they could hack our banks, take all our money. Well, then Dad said, well, what about vegetables and all that? Well, then I started talking about the carnivorous diet. Carolyn and I have been eating probably 80% of our meals is meat or meat products like eggs. And Carolyn's gotten really good at doing a lot of different things with just meat. She makes a chicken patty. What she does is she takes our canned meat, puts it in a bowl with some eggs and mixes it all up, and then she makes a patty out of it, and man, it's fantastic. I've been feeling a lot healthier just all around. Getting away from corn products, and we haven't bought bread in forever. We never eat pasta anymore. Occasionally we'll eat rice and potatoes, but that's still got a lot of carbohydrates. Definitely getting away from the corn products, the flour. So I was telling him that, not only, and what I'm trying to do, I feel like, is trying to preserve food for a financial savings account. I know that probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people. You're supposed to put your money in the bank, but when banks are at risk from a World War III, what else can we do? Is there something that we can do that would offset all this madness that's going on? And it seemed like food was a logical answer. But as long as you're okay with a carnivorous diet, and like I said, I've been feeling really good recently. I've been losing weight, even though I've been sitting in the house more often because I got the second channel that I've been running. So I've been spending a lot more time on the computer. I've been losing weight doing less activities. So I was suggesting this to Dad. So now let's look at the emergency. So now a hurricane comes. He's got a generator with a battery and a battery charger and an inverter. So he can power his refrigerator. But does he really need a refrigerator if he goes out and buys food and cans it? Probably not, because now you got your food stored, you don't even need the freezer. So if you'll go out and check out that other channel, got it up next box right here, I'd appreciate it. You'll get to watch a funny video about everything. So I hope I can inspire you to think about your future so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.